Good Erev Shabbos, everybody, and a happy last few moments of Hanukkah. Lekavod Shabbos. Shabbos. Uviyayim Shabbos. Ay, 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 Shabbos. Ay, ay, Shabbos. Shabbos is coming. Thank you for joining us. Turn Friday into Erev Shabbos. As always, a huge thank you to our sponsors, Mendin Tzipora Fishman, as a schutz for Chayrivka Bas Tzipora Fredo, and in memory of Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs, of Yaakov Tzvi ben David Aryeh, Zechrono Levracha Lekavod Shabbos Kodesh. Shabbos is coming. Here comes the siren momentarily. And we will get started with our thought for today. Kavod Shabbos Kodesh. All right, Shabbos is coming. Let's get started. First of all, I apologize for last week. I stood everybody up. It wasn't my fault. Moments before Shabbos, we found out we had been exposed to somebody and needed to get tested, and we were otherwise occupied and preoccupied. So thank you for understanding. Hopefully it did not take away from anyone's Shabbos. So these are the last moments of the Heilige Hanukkah. Today is Zos Hanukkah, the 8th day of Hanukkah. It's known as Zos Hanukkah because that's part of the laning of the 8th day, Zos Hanukkah, but it's also a very deeper meaning, Zos. This is the essence of Hanukkah. We follow the opinion of Beis Hillel. We've been building up 1 to 8, and last night we lit 8 candles. Today we continue to bask in the light. Our lives continue to be illuminated by the full Chanukiah, by the full menorah. You see, each of the first 7 nights, there are candles that are unlit, that are only in potential. It's only on the 8th night that each of the potential, each of those candles is realized. All 8 candles are lit, all 8 candles burn bright, and that leads to today. This is Zos Hanukkah. These are the last few moments. We should continue to savor from the last few moments, continue to draw in and to appreciate and to enjoy these last few moments of the beautiful and the Heilige, the Holy Hanukkah. So these are the last moments of Hanukkah, and just like Zos Hanukkah, the 8th day of Hanukkah, corresponds with the end, so too Shabbos is the end of the week. As we've said almost every week that we meet on Turn Friday into Erev Shabbos, it's not that we rest on Shabbos so that we can go back to work, but rather we work all week long so that we can rest on Shabbos. Zos Hanukkah, Zos Shabbos. Shabbos is the essence, it's the culmination, it's what we've been building towards, what we've been leading toward. Shabbos is what gives us that peace, that tranquility. Shabbos gives us that serenity. Shabbos is that taste of the world to come. Shabbos enables us to disconnect from all the troubles and challenges, the travails of the world, from the technology, the distractions, the temptations of the world. And for Shabbos, for 25 hours, we go to that place of refuge. For 25 hours, we have a holy time. So we've been going through and offering different interpretations of what it means that we are endowed with an neshama yesera. What does it mean that we get an extra additional layer of a soul? Our soul is more on fire. Our soul, the last time we met, we spoke about, unlike all week long where we have dial-up connection, on Shabbos, our soul has high-speed connection, a direct connection to above. There is no trouble with the bandwidth. You know, I mentioned last week, so we had to quarantine for the week. And as I was trying to broadcast my shiurim throughout this week, I had many technological challenges until I realized, because all of my children were on Zoom and everybody was using their own device, there wasn't enough bandwidth in the house. All week long, we struggle with enough bandwidth. We're stretched in a million different directions. And Shabbos comes high speed. Shabbos comes, there is no challenge to our sense of bandwidth, but rather we're all able to connect at a high level. So, suggestion number 16 of what it means to have an additional soul, a more on fire soul when it comes to Shabbos. Kasab Yismach Moshe. The Heilige Yismach Moshe writes in Parshas Kisisa. B'Megillah Star Matzah Shla Mavur, the Shla Kadosh Rav Yeshaya Levi Horowitz found, it says, Mavur de kol neshama ne'etzeles mi Shabbos echad. Every soul can be saved. Every soul has a relationship with. Every soul connects more specifically with one particular Shabbos. We know that there is a tradition. There are 600,000 letters in the Torah. Don't try it at home. If you count them up, you won't get to 600,000. But that is our tradition nonetheless, that there are 600,000 letters in the Torah. And there are 600,000 Jews who traveled through the desert. That was the Jewish nation, the Jewish people at that time. Shabbos is called an os. Now an os means a sign or a symbol. An os means that there's a covenant, a relationship. An os, it is a sign of the ki osi beini uveinechem. It's a sign of the relationship between us and God. While he gave so much of Torah's timeless values and messages to the whole world. Shabbos, he kept specifically for his children. Shabbos is our time together. So the 600,000 Jews correspond with the 600,000 legends in the Torah. So the tradition the Shlah had was that you cannot compare one Shabbos to another. The same way that no two human beings, that no two Jews are the same way we each have our own DNA, we each have our own personality, we each have our own background, we each have our own athleticism and artistic and intelligence and emotion. No two people are exactly the same way we're all different and represented by the different letters of the Torah. The tradition is that the same way every Shabbos is different. My dear friends, listen to this very, very special teaching. I find it very powerful and I hope you do too. L'chach Shabbos nikraos, v'im lo nishmor Shabbos echad, chaval al da'avdin. No two Shabbos are the same. So you'll say, well, what do you mean? Sundown every Friday afternoon, 25 hours, I have the same laws that govern each and every Shabbos. I can't do the 39 acts of creative labor. So what do you mean no two Shabbos are the same? They're the same. They pretty much have the same routine, and I eat the same foods, and I go through the same menu, and I wear the same Shabbos clothing, and I have the same Shabbos davening. So what do you mean no two are the same? So that is our tradition. You see, we're not the same on any given Shabbos. We're different people. Our week was different. Our lives are different. The experiences are different. Where we're feeling and how we're connecting is different. And so too the Shabbos is different. The world is different. Every Friday, it never fails to surprise me going into that Shabbos how much we need it. What's going on in the world? What's the latest data? What's the latest news? What's the latest update? What's the latest challenge? What's the latest? The world is constantly changing, and we are constantly changing. And that means that every Friday when the sun goes down, we and the world around us are entirely different than the way we were the week before. The Parsha is different, and the Haftorah is different, and the whole everything is different. The recipes might have come out different, or we tried new ones. Everything is different. In normal times, we have different guests. Everything about each Shabbos is different. And so just like an os, a letter, each Jew, each human is distinct, is unique, is different. And so too the letters of the Torah are different, and we find our place in the Torah. We also find our place in each and every Shabbos. Every Shabbos we find who we are and who we're meant to be. We connect in a different way based on what we're going through. And therefore, if we neglect the Shabbos, if we forfeit or concede a Shabbos, chaval al da'avdin, what we lost out on. So sometimes on a Friday night you feel like running through the meal, you're exhausted. Sometimes you feel like schluffing, you sleep in, you don't go to shul, you don't make it to davening. Sometimes on Shabbos, you're tired, you're exhausted. You don't have what's in you to give it your all, to sing those miros, to play those games, to spend that time. But a person has to realize chaval al da'avdin. If we forfeited and conceded that Shabbos, you can never ever get it back. You can never make it up. Now, it's true that simply 7 days later, 1 week later, there'll be another Shabbos, and we could try again, and it's a fresh start, and we can try to get it right. But yet, if you lost a Shabbos, you can never get it back. You can never get it back. I have a friend who, someone wasn't feeling well, and their spouse, they left the table, and the spouse came and they said, if we lose this Shabbos with our children, if our Shabbos table is not all we can make it, we'll never get that back. We can never get back this Shabbos. You don't know what's going to happen between one Shabbos and the next. You don't know whether you'll, God forbid, not have the opportunity for that next Shabbos or with those people or in that serenity and with that peace of mind. We never know what the world or what our lives will bring. So that's what it means that the neshama yisera, the additional level of the soul, means that there's something in each and every Shabbos that is designated for us, for our soul. Our soul can be nourished by each and every Shabbos differently. And if it misses a Shabbos, if we don't experience it, if we don't get that taste and that taste of the world to come, then our soul is malnourished, then our soul is dehydrated, then our soul is deprived. So you think, you know what? I need the Shabbos off. I'm sleeping through it. I'm taking off from shul. I'm taking off from a beautiful Shabbos meal. You're not taking off. You're leaving yourself off, and you're leaving yourself out. Because our neshama yisera, the neshama is on fire. It means it is more predisposed to be nourished and fed, to be alive, to be elevated, to feel and to sense. So just like every Jewish soul, there are 600,000 souls that correspond with a letter in the Torah. That's why when the person does Hagbah, when you lift the whole Torah and we point, you're not supposed to point with your pinky, we have no idea where that came from. But when you point with your finger and you bow towards the Torah which is being held up and you find your letter, you find the letter of your name and you say, that's my place in the Torah. I have a place. The Torah speaks to me. And Judaism has a place for me. And I'm part of that history, and I'm part of that destiny, and I'm part of that story. The same way that a Jew can find themselves in Torah. Everybody has what to offer and add to Torah. Everybody has a contribution. Everybody has a participation. Everybody has a way the Torah can speak to them. So too, every Jew has a way that Shabbos can speak to them. Every Jew can find their Shabbos. Within each Shabbos, they can find their Shabbos. What is it about this Shabbos that will speak to you? Will it be Kabbalah Shabbos? Kiddush? Zmiros? Will it be the board games? The Zmiros? Will it be the Dvar Torah? Will it be Shachris or Musaf? Will it be Shalashudas, the lights out Shalashudas? What is it about Shabbos that will speak to you? Ulachach amrinan mikadesh haShabbos v'Yisrael lo Yisrael v'Shabbos. The Neshamos Yisrael netzlu mishabbasos. V'im ken kedusha Shabbos kodmos bizman uvmala masha ein ken yontif. We have the ability. Every Jew, every Shabbos speaks to us in a different way. So what will this Shabbos bring? What will we walk out of this Shabbos with? How will we walk out changed, transformed, improved, enriched, elevated? What conversation will we have? What book will we read? What sentence in prayer will we connect to? What is it on this Shabbos that we will discover or rediscover about ourselves on this unique Shabbos? There's something about this Shabbos There's something about Parshas Miketz. There's something about Tafshin Pei Aleph, Miketz 2020. There's something about this unique Shabbos that will speak specifically to you. But you have to have your antenna extended. You have to be connected. You have to have the password to the Wi-Fi to get that high-speed connection. And that's what it means on Motzei Shabbos when we make Havdalah and we're comforted by the pleasant fragrance of the Besamim. We take it in during Havdalah in order to comfort ourselves that we've lost the additional or extra soul. Vai avda nefesh, vai nafash. We've lost the extra soul. What it means is the way Shabbos uniquely spoke to us. When that Shabbos ends, that high-speed connection ends. And you know what happens again? Literally and figuratively, everyone runs for their device and they turn it on. And all of a sudden you have bandwidth problems again. All of a sudden you don't have enough connection for everybody. All of a sudden you're struggling for that connection all week long until the next Shabbos when we disconnect and we all get a high-speed connection yet again. So what will you take out of this Shabbos? As we transition, the candles of Hanukkah are still burning. And they will take us right up to the moment that we light the candles of Shabbos. And what will you take from this Shabbos? How will it leave you transformed and changed forever? How will it leave you inspired? What will it touch you with that you will carry for the whole week until we meet again? Wishing everyone still a happy Hanukkah and a beautiful and a holy Shabbos. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay holy. Shabbos, aye Shabbos. Ay, 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 Shabbos, ay, ay, Shabbos. Have a wonderful Shabbos, everybody. Enjoy, rest. There comes the siren. We're running out of time. Get ready. Shabbos is here.